If a modern Apache helicopter time-traveled to July 1863 and showed up during the Battle of Gettysburg, would it change the outcome of the entire Civil War? I have considered the two possible scenarios, and I discovered some pretty wild stuff. The first scenario is the most realistic and quick one. History shows us what happens when super-advanced weapons face armies that have never seen anything like it. This tactic is known as shock and awe. It's all about hitting the enemy so hard and so fast that they become completely scared, making them either fight badly or give up altogether. In the second scenario, let's imagine that both armies at Gettysburg got some sort of super strong mental training and didn't just run away screaming as soon as they saw the first flying machine. What the helicopter has versus what the soldiers have. Let's first look at what the two sides have with them. The Apache helicopter has two people in it, equipped with one big 30mm cannon that shoots 625 bullets per minute, which is like 10 bullets every single second. It also has 16 super powerful Hellfire missiles that can blow up tanks from 4 miles away and 76 smaller rockets for hitting big groups. On the other side, we have the Battle of Gettysburg, which had roughly 94,000 Union troops under General George Meade and about 71,000 Confederate troops commanded by Robert E. Lee. That's 165,000 soldiers, total equipped with old muskets that take 30 seconds to reload after every shot, bayonets, and some cannons. They also have horses, even though they're not going to stop missiles. If we're being completely honest, the Civil War armies might have been much bigger if we counted all the camp followers too. These were cooks, doctors, and supply workers, but we're not going to count them here since they weren't fighting soldiers, and including them would make it way too unfair for the helicopter. But the main thing is, the Apache can only carry enough bullets and missiles for maybe 30 minutes of serious fighting, while the Civil War armies had huge supplies that could last for days. The big problem with running out of stuff. What we do have to think about, as it's something really crucial to the whole battle, is supplies. On one hand, the Apache is just one helicopter not meant to fight for many hours. It only has enough ammunition for about half an hour of shooting. The Civil War armies, on the other hand, had massive wagon trains bringing in food, bullets, bandages, and everything else, giving them a big advantage if the fight goes on for a long time. The only area where the Apache might be better is not needing much food since it's only two people. The armies were also really good at winning their longer battles by quickly getting more supplies. They could bring in more cannons, more equipment, and even fresh soldiers. For the Apache, the only way to get more stuff would be to somehow find helicopter fuel and missiles in 1863 Pennsylvania. But that's impossible because jet fuel wasn't invented yet. Plus, one of the Apache's biggest advantages is staying far, far away with missiles, while the Civil War soldiers have to get up close with swords. But if the helicopter runs out of gas, it becomes a sitting duck that can't fly away from thousands of angry soldiers. Why the bumpy terrain would actually help the soldiers. The Battle of Gettysburg was fought in hilly areas with tons of trees, rocks, and stone walls everywhere. This actually makes things harder for the helicopter. In the bumpy terrain around Gettysburg, where everything is much tighter, the Apache's long-range advantage gets much worse. The helicopter would have to fly lower and closer to see targets, which makes it easier for thousands of soldiers to shoot at it. Furthermore, if the Apache were forced into low flying, it would find itself in big trouble. It has much less protection against lots of musket fire. Helicopters usually work by staying high up and moving fast, which keeps their spinning blades and engines safe. On the other hand, the average Civil War soldier would have great hiding spots behind trees, rocks, buildings, and stone walls. This makes low flying really dangerous, especially since losing the helicopter crew means game over. Also, armies back then used really smart tactics like destroying the enemy's food supplies. We also have to remember that Civil War generals like Robert E. Lee and George Meade were really smart guys who were good at changing their battle plans when they saw new threats. The Apache does have one huge advantage though. It can see in the dark and has heat vision. This gives it the ability to fight at night when the Civil War armies would be completely blind. If the helicopter attacked supply wagons at night or picked off important officers in the dark, their chances of success would be incredibly high because nobody in 1863 had any way to see or fight back in complete darkness. The numbers game that actually matters. Thinking about all the weapons the Apache carries, And the fact that it's just one tiny aircraft against 165,000 men with muskets, it's more likely that the helicopter's speed will let it choose where fighting happens. The best plan for the helicopter would be staying over wide open fields so it can shoot missiles from really far away. The armies would probably try to spread out and hide, so the Apache would need to stay as far away as possible using hit-and-run attacks where it shoots some missiles, then flies away before the soldiers can shoot back. Naturally, the best thing the armies could do to fight back is to try to force the helicopter to land by taking control of all the good landing spots. This would require them to spread their soldiers out over a huge area, making them much less bunched up and harder to hit with missiles. This means the old-fashioned lineup like toy soldiers formation would be totally useless. They could spread out into much smaller groups, but that would make it super hard for the generals to give orders. The Apache would easily pick off scattered groups or just fly to a different spot while they try to figure out what to do. The better idea would be to set up shooting positions in multiple spots with some space between each group so the helicopter can't hit them all with one missile. The armies also wouldn't be able to use their horse cavalry very well. The Apache's sensors would let it spot horses from miles away long before the horses could get close. This would result in all the cavalry getting shot really quickly. Additionally, horses are really big, easy targets, and even if they weren't killed, the super loud noise of helicopter blades would probably scare the horses so bad that they would run away. The best way for the armies to get closer would be to send expendable soldiers running toward areas where the helicopter might try to land. These throwaway soldiers would work like human shields, letting the main troops get closer. What makes this really scary for the soldiers? The Apache's weapon systems are just incredibly powerful. The 30mm cannon can shoot 625 bullets per minute, which means it can kill 625 soldiers in just 1 minute if every shot hits someone. The 16 Hellfire missiles can each blow up entire groups from 4 miles away, and the 76 rockets can be shot all at once to completely destroy large areas. This setup would basically turn the battlefield into a killing zone, forcing both armies to focus everything on trying to bring down the aircraft with thousands of musket shots fired all at the same time. Each Civil War soldier would need to hit a tiny, fast-moving target flying around in the sky, which would require perfect aim, basically impossible shots, because muskets are only accurate up to maybe 300 yards, while the helicopter can attack from 4 miles away. However, it's worth knowing that when you have literally thousands of soldiers all shooting at the exact same time, some of those musket balls are gonna hit something important, like the rotor blades. One major advantage of the Civil War armies that we haven't talked about yet is all the buildings and stone walls around Gettysburg that they can hide behind. They also have lots of experience getting shot at by cannons during other battles, which would help them understand taking cover from explosive weapons, even though they've never seen anything as powerful as Hellfire missiles. All things considered, the Apache would probably win in a straight-up fight if it stayed far away and avoided getting trapped on the ground. However, the armies might still have a chance if they use a really smart approach, like making it into a waiting game where they just hide in buildings and forests during the day and let the helicopter run out of fuel. If you agree with this scenario, then do consider liking the video. If you want to discuss this video or suggest an idea for the next one, drop your comments in the comment section. Also, I will be up with more interesting and fun topic maybe which we all would have imagined at least once, that what if? So subscribe to the channel. See ya!